How we doing? It's Mailman Nick. Follow me on Instagram at Nick Venti. If you enjoy this content, please give me a thumbs up. Don't treat us like 204Bs over here. You got and obviously these are our own thoughts and opinions, and we not speak on behalf of the Postal Service. So I got a special guest with me. Jay, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. So talk about your job history and your USPS resume, because you got an extensive one.
Oof. You talking about with my job history in general or just my job history at the United States Postal Service?
Yes, so your job history leading up to the post office, like what type of jobs you worked before the post office, and then, your resume with the post office once you got in.
Okay, cool. Initially, it was kind of weird. I went to Culinary Institute of America and the New York Restaurant School as well. From high school, I was always in the culinary arts. Um, and I had a little restaurant after a while. I had a catering business, and life happened with myself and my ex-wife. I lost everything in a very short period of time. I was at a wit's end, and I decided to walk across the street because my car got repoed. Walked across the street, started working for a moving company, and that's how I ended up getting into truck driving, and getting all the back details. I saw the guy that was paying me in the moving company. I wanted to have a CDL because I wanted that money. I learned how to drive. This was back in New York, and that's how it started. Driving trucks. Was over the road for many years. I believe. I was over the road a lot. I think it was 15 years over the road. I think I've touched every single state in the continental United States. I've been to Canada, Mexico, driving as well. I had a really bad accident while I was moving furniture back in a while ago. It was a dining room tabletop glass. It broke, severed my arm to the bone, as you can see. Couldn't use the hand for a long time. Decided to apply to the post office, which was weird. And that's how I got in. Driving trucks, post office.
Nice. And you you're doing a bunch of odd jobs, and then it just randomly happened where did you see like a flyer, or did you just randomly apply to somebody recommend the post office to you, or how did that happen?
Well, no, it was I was working for I think it was United Van Lines. It's not really an odd job. Moving companies are huge, man. I
Yeah,
moved.
legit jobs. Yeah.
Yeah, I moved the president when he got out, Clinton, into New York when
Oh,
they moved
really?
into Westchester, New York. Yeah, I've moved a lot of famous people. The United Van Lines and Allied Van Lines, they're pretty big. Nonetheless, yeah, when I got hurt, I was out of it for a while, and I think shit. I don't even remember how I applied. I just got on. I don't even remember, bro. I don't think about it. I took the service test, the civil service test, just to do that, and I didn't think I was gonna get it because lo and behold, a lot of people don't know. In the midst of all of that foolishness, I had been arrested. I actually have federal time underneath my belt. So yeah, I served in a federal facility for a year and a half. I've been through a lot of shit, bro.
Yeah, but that
And
makes you though. Like you go
yeah,
through you hit rock bottom, and then now look what you are now. So you gotta,
I'm really not.
sometimes as a man you go through struggles, and then you come out on top, and that's the life of a hardworking man right there for sure.
Shit, it was rough, man. It was I was trying to survive the streets. Truck driving was good. I think I was greedy and got caught up in some shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, end up serving about a year and a half in federal prison.
Yeah.
I got out, got right back into moving furniture again, and that's it was rough, man. I had bought a couple of trucks. That's when this happened.
Yeah.
and then got with the post office, and I hated it. I loved it, but I hated it, man. It was
Yeah.
very
Every-
easy work for me.
yeah, everybody usually does. So if you can go back, would you go to moving furniture if you could? Like you really
Right
like
now,
doing that?
no.
Yeah,
My body can't handle it. I think I was in the best shape of my life. A lot of people think that moving furniture is just
it's
moving a
hard work.
house.
It's hard work.
No, we were moving facilities as well. We'd move. A lot of people don't remember IBM. I don't know if that rings a bell to you.
Yeah.
IBM used to be computers. We'd move full facilities. Um, so they would move offices, equipment, craning and rigging, everything. Sikorsky jets, Sikorsky, which is they build the engines for a majority of the country with the planes. Sikorsky also builds for the military. They're
Oh,
like the first starting point of a lot of the military airplanes. So we would move them from they're located in different parts of the country, to say the least.
yeah.
Yeah. So I was busy. I was busy. It's a very difficult job, man. There's no set hours. If you think you had no set hours, we'd start sometimes at 9 p.m. and work through the night. That's when we started, because people have to be out the building.
Yeah, people think that we have such a stressful job. I mean, it can be stressful, but they don't. There's construction jobs, there's movers, there's jobs that are way more physical, way more time consuming, and chaotic than the post office. Believe it or not, and people don't know how good we have it here. Because how long you been with the post office now? You got into moving trucks, and are you still moving trucks, or how did you get where you're at now?
Okay. 2011, I started with the post office. I was just truck driver. All we did was move the mail from the main facility to the stations. That was it. That's
Yeah,
all we did. I felt like that was 100% easier than moving furniture up and down stairs, disassembling pianos, etc. The hours sucked though, because the hours sucked. It's like I had to start at 1 a.m. and get off, but there was that's where it started. The money was good. It was really good,
yeah,
and just stuck with it. Um, I dabbled in management, just a hair, because I didn't like the way that the culture was.
yeah.
I believe you knew me at that point when I started dabbling in management.
I did. Yeah,
Um, felt like I felt like it was an uphill battle, because it was me versus everyone else. I wasn't your ordinary guy running the show. And then this position that I'm in right now pretty much fell in my lap. It was different. They said, "Hey, there's training, it's safety, it's only Monday through Friday. There's no overtime. Do you want to?" They threw it at the whole department, because in order to be a driving safety instructor at the post office, a full-time driving safety instructor, you need to have the ability to drive every single vehicle that they offer. Um, a lot of the carriers don't have commercial driver's license, so they can't train a tractor trailer operator.
yeah.
So that's how I applied for it. I think myself and one other guy said they wanted to apply for it. I applied for it. I got it. A lot of the other people didn't want to do it because it's unfamiliar to them. I get it. A lot of people are stuck in their ways. And I'm pretty happy where I'm at. I really am.
Yeah, I know. You're always busy, Jay, right? Always busy.
Busy, brother. Busy.
No, I'm happy. Everything's good for you now. You got great hours, you got a good, set job now, and everything's good for you. Uh, have you ever considered carrying mail, or were you just making too much money doing what you were doing, and it was something you were good at? Have you ever thought about being a carrier?
Honestly, with I got my kid, my first son. I got him into carrying mail. He lost his goddamn mind. Yeah, that one. Lost his goddamn mind. You know who he is. And the stress that he went through, I thought I was going through some stressful shit. He made good money. But the stress that he endured, it was crazy. I got my daughter into it. She made great money. Her first full year, I believe she only made $5,000 less than I did as a truck driver for the full year, but she worked her ass off for it. Yeah. And she was stressed out as well. Got my sister in it. She made great money. I was like, you know what? Money does not replace happiness. And what you guys do, everybody just thinks it's just putting mail in a mailbox, man. No, it's just not. It's just not.
The man, I'm onto it.
Y'all go through some shit. Rain, sleet, snow, managers. It's overwhelming to an average person that does not have the mindset or doesn't have the backing at home, somebody to say, you know what, keep going. It breaks the average person. It can break them easily. I'm sure you see it all the time.
I've helped carriers and they're having mental breakdowns, crying, and I'm so desensitized to it now. I'm just like, all right, give me this and this. Go take a quick break. You know, that I'm so used to it by now.
Eesh. And that's one of the reasons why I don't believe. And I mean, if I was forced to, yes, I'll get back into the rhythm of it. I'm pretty fit, but y'all have different muscles. You have different muscles. You have a different rhythm than the average person. I'm not saying I'm too old, but I'm gonna tell it like it is. I am too old. A lot of older people that come in and I train them. I look at them and I'm like, I can't tell them I don't think they're gonna make it, but I know in the back of my head who's gonna survive and who isn't.
Right.
It's survival of the fittest, literally. Survival of the fittest. Back in the days, it was different. But, you know, footing it uphill, you know, some people are doing 15 to 20 miles per day. You guys are doing it in all kind of weather, carrying all type of foolishness. You got Amazon now where their max limit is 75 pounds, right? Yeah, whatever. You know, come on, man. Why is this guy getting, you know, tires brought up to the third floor? Like,
it's always the guy with the longest driveway or the guy on the top floor getting the heaviest stuff, and then the bottom floor, they get one piece of junk mail. That's how it goes.
Man, y'all got the freaking feet soaking wet, and you got to trudge upstairs. No. And I want to bring it back to y'all damn contract, but goddamn, what the hell, man? Not for what you do, man. And apparently you really don't like your brother that much because you suckered him into doing what the hell you do. So I feel for you, Russ, if you in the back, man. They don't really care about you.
That's what everyone said, because he was in a 8 and skate office and I got him over to my office and now he's doing my old route, and they're like, you know, you don't love your brother. He's out on the hood just you know, doing a 15-mile walking route, got chased by dogs, and you know, he's going through it right now, and I'm just like, just wait until you get regular and then you could kind of, things will be more under your control. But right now he doesn't see it yet because he's still a CCA, but you know, things will get better. I keep trying to tell him.
So the good thing that you have and he has, well, he has you. He witnessed you go through the struggle.
Right.
He watched you come from, you know, where you were at to where you are now. So he can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that walk in this door that don't have that. Y'all are literally right there with each other. It's like, oh shit, you know what? He's not gonna lie to me. You know what I mean? Y'all have something different that a bunch of people don't have. There's a lot of people that I would ask now in my own interviews, if you had the chance to do it all over again, would you? And a lot of people like, man, this bullshit, man. This is crazy. No.
It's a tough grind. I remember working every Sunday and I remember one peak season, I worked 84 hours in a single week. A lot of people don't do that in 2 weeks. So it's, you know, I remember the grind. I still kind of do it. I mean, my hours have gotten cut now because people are showing up now, but it's more, you know, 55, 60 hours a week instead of 65, 70. So it's died down a little bit, but you know, I'm like I told my brother, it gets better, and everybody watching, it gets better. Just get through it.
Eventually. And that's the reason why when I first saw you pop up on my feed, I said, man, this guy gets it. This guy gets it. And I don't want to knock the younger people. And you are the younger people. When I first met you, you were the younger people.
Yep.
And I can sit here and talk about my own kids, but it's different when they see somebody else. And they're seeing you and they're like, you sitting there with this smile on your face. I was like, this fucking kid is either crazy or he really gets it. He really gets it. And that's where I was like, you know, y'all got to watch this guy. You got to watch this guy. And that was me pushing the next generation to try to understand there is light at the end of the tunnel. You know, and like I said, your brother has that with you. A lot of the people that are stepping in, they're going YouTube and they're going to look it up. They're going to look up, oh, what's this like? What's this like? And unfortunately, before yourself, there was really nobody speaking positively about this. I know you saw it, man. Fuck this job, man. It's crazy. I hate the people.
I seen it.
Like this guy,
I still see it.
Which is good, man. And that's where the positivity comes in. We can always sit here and complain, or we could change this culture. You know, I speak about it all the time. And that's why I appreciate yourself and all the other guys that, you know, we have in our private chat group. You know, you guys y'all are warriors, bro. Y'all do something that I can't do. I live vicariously through you guys. Listen to the shit. I see all the pictures you guys are sending. And for those that are watching, it's a rough job. It's a rough job. But the crew that is in the chat group range from, you know, what are y'all, Gen X, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, whatever you are, all the way up, millenniums, all the way up to where I'm at. And everybody's doing it. So it can be done. And it's not like they're all in one office. They're all over the country. It can be done. Do you have to deal with the bullshit? You don't have to deal with anything. But if you come in and you want this, you will. I don't remember, but I think you were 3 years in when you first bought your condo, right? Something like that?
Yeah, I was around 3 years in. Yep.
3 years in, and you bought a condo, which impressed me even more. Before you were 30, right? Or you were just 30?
I was 29 when I bought it. I'm 30 now. So I had tunnel vision. I was like, anytime they give me overtime, I'm like, let me hit that collection box at 9 o'clock at night or whatever it is. Like I'm doing all overtime. I want this condo. And that was kind of my mindset. I did whatever I had to do.
And that's why I give you 110% respect. And that's what I wish the following generation would do. Aside from the screwed up environment that they have to live in, I always tell people, man, don't let this person play with your money. Don't let nobody play with your money. If you got that goal, go get it. I don't care all this yapping in my ear, idle time. Once you get past your 90 days, the only person that could kick you out of here is you.
Exactly.
That's it. The only person that could kick you out of here is you. Your mind has to be different in order to get that goal. A lot of people don't have. You got your own place. You know what I mean? You have your own. A lot of people worrying about the rent. Yeah, you know what? Your mortgage go up. You know what? You're still paying your mortgage. Exactly. You're not buying a house for somebody else. You're buying a house for yourself. Right. You're building your own legacy for yourself and the generations to follow. Right. You know, your generation to follow, your legacies that you're going to leave behind. And that's where people should have their mindset. But I see people leave here, oh man, screw this, I'm going to Amazon. Screw this, I'm going to FedEx. Screw this, I'm going to go work at the coffee shop. That's good, fine, and dandy, but
not going to get nowhere.
They're not going to give you a mortgage on a 7-Eleven job. It's just what it is, unless you own that 7-Eleven. Right. So that's kind of where I feel about it, but I'm sorry, I kind of veered off topic. Other questions?
No, it's all good. It's all good. That's what the people need to hear, the positive. And that's why, like you said, our group share, we got a lot of positive carriers are trying to change the culture. And that was when I started YouTube. I'm like, people are just complaining. Reddit. I'm looking at all these Reddits. I'm like, stop being babies. I know there's stuff to complain about. I deal with management. I deal with all that stuff. But at the end of the day, nobody wants to hear it. They just want to they they want to hear solutions to problems. I'm like,
Yes.
this is okay. This I have to deal with management, yada yada yada. But these are your rights, and they can't harass you. You could file this, you could file that. Know your rights when you start, because after 90 days, management's going to bank on you not knowing your rights, and then they'll use that against you. And you just gotta and never lose your cool with management. Never lose your cool. Just smile and file. It's hard. It's very hard. Very difficult. I've had to walk away from my postmaster a couple times. It's you got to do what you got to do, because at the end of the day, if they're harassing you, file. If they're not violating the contract, file. Smile and file. That's all you got to do.
Smile and file.
So
Yeah.
Jay, what made you start YouTube? You got a really big YouTube channel, a big following. What made you start YouTube in the beginning?
Ooh, I didn't start because I wanted to. It fell in my lap again accidentally. I was helping a couple buddies get into the post office. They weren't truck drivers, and I was like, "Hey, come work over here." And they were taking the new tests, and I was like, "Come on, man, I'll help you out with it, man. Just get in here." They had lifing, and I was talking to a lot of the local, mail handlers and clerks, and they were making good money. I'm like, you're not even working. I got people that are coming here and work. So I helped a couple people, and behind the scenes, they needed some help with their assessments, and I was like, just send it my way. I'll help you out, man. And so I couldn't do it, and then these phones only let you send a file that's only but so big. So I put it on my YouTube. I'm like, hey, man, this is how you figure it out. And it started with the day I put that on there, man. It went from like 10 views to a couple hundred. And then I did another one for his other buddy. And that's how it started. And then one day, I think it was 2019. Maybe I was talking to a couple people because everybody's like, oh, is it really a good job? And my whole thing was like, yeah, it is a good job. So I spoke to a couple people and said, hey, man, are you making good money? Yeah. You making good money? Yeah. How much did you make last year? And that's how it started. That's how it started. It started by me just asking people if they're making good money, kind of prove a point to all the doubters.
Yeah.
And then it slowly built up. I built it off of the positive. We are making good money. All you got to do is come in here and work.
Exactly.
And that's how it started. And during that period, I was going through a divorce, or just got divorced, I believed. And I invested more time into this because I liked the feedback. It was like, okay, this is taking my time off of my personal issues.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was a new hobby now. It was a new hobby.
So it was just starting as a hobby. I was, I wanted to engage with people and say, hey, man, this is a good thing. This is a good thing. And that's what it was. It was really a good thing. For people that don't know, it is a great thing. For people that have had, I'm not knocking any other job. They were roofers, or they, chopping down trees, or construction workers, or bouncers. Or I'm like, look, I've been through all the bullshit before. Skip that at a young age. Start here, because if I knew what I know now way back when, I would have started here. You know what I mean? I would have had so much more.
I
So
agree.
much more.
I agree.
And so I was just trying to drill the new generation, or anybody. Hey, I'm gonna go work at the blah blah blah. Walmart pays more than this. They probably do, in certain aspects. Are they going to give you the end product? Do they have the turnover rate? That's when I started getting into the details behind it. Oh no, we have a union. They'll protect you after this time. All you got to do is just make it past this. So then breaking down the detailed intricacies of every craft. So I'm like, with the mail handlers, you're not starting off as this. And that's how it became everything USPS. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I interact with so many different people. The guy that I helped get in here, he came in as a carrier. He had a situation after he started. They found out he had an open container, so they let him go. So I was like, that's bullshit, man. Don't worry about it. I hope you get in as a carrier. I mean, as a mail handler. So then I started asking people about the mail carrier job. I mean, the mail handler job, and then got that situated. And then it just spiraled, man. I started learning a little bit about every single craft,
Yeah.
talking to everybody because I was able to as a truck driver. I get to the station, talk to the clerks, talk, to the carriers, talk to the supervisors. Some of them would come out their face sideways with me. I was short tempered, bro.
Yeah.
Short tempered. What you talking to like that?
We all are at the post office. Come to find that out.
I learned a lot through the trial and error and my own personal trials and tribulations of interacting with everybody. So then learning why they would rush you guys back. And I'm sitting there as a truck driver waiting. This is behind the scenes. I'm waiting for the look, man. If I don't get back to my plant on time because I'm gonna hit all this traffic, they're gonna miss the express plane. You know what I mean? So I'm telling them, I'm like, okay, my mindset is mail, mail, mail. Well, you want me to sit here for another 20 minutes for 2 carriers? That doesn't make sense. You got all these people just standing around. Why don't you send one of them to go get the outgoing mail? So then I started learning about that.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh man, can you come in and grab my cage and pull my stuff out? And I'm like, no, don't you have a clerk? Oh, they clocked out already. Well, that's not my job. You know what I mean? So then I started learning about the clerk's job. That's how that all played out, man. And that's why I became everything USPS.
Yeah, you're like a sponge of knowledge with all the crafts. Like if someone asks me about I only know about the city craft, really. I don't really know too much about other crafts. So anybody asks me, I'm like, JH would know. Just
a little bit.
send them your way.
Yeah. And then with my family all working at the post office, sometimes I'll just call them up and ask them. It's just one of those things. I just call them up. Hey, you blah blah blah. Can you tell me? Like last week, I was trying to find out how much it cost and what the process was for international mail, and they were like, international. It depends on the size. They went through this whole thing with me. I'm like, I didn't realize that. I learned something again. I was like, can I use a regular box? Oh, if you use the priority box that we provide you, it's automatically at $96. I'm like, God damn. Well, can I use my own box? Well, then it goes by the weight. I'm like, so again, they're telling me this, but I'm learning at the same time. You understand what I'm saying? So I have that knowledge. May never need it, but G.I. Joe.
Good to have it. Good to have it. All right, so one more thing. What advice would you give to new carriers or anybody, and not just carriers, clerks, road carriers, drivers? What advice would you give to somebody who's thinking about the job, but like I said, who's seeing all these negative reviews, who's maybe hesitant to join? What would you say to them?
If you start at the post office and you'll know within the first, give it at least 120 days.
Yeah.
You'll know within the first 4 months if you can continue on. If you're feeling as if this is not for you, find another craft that is for you. Overall, the Postal Service will provide you a better life in one of the crafts, whether it be a clerk, a carrier, truck driver, any one of the crafts. Not all crafts are for me. Like I just said, I wouldn't come in and apply for a carrier. You know what I mean? What you guys do. That's just me. Some people don't want to be stuck inside as a clerk. They don't want to do that. Some people don't want to be stuck inside as a mail handler. Do your research about what each job entails before you apply. Understand, it's a 24-hour job. The only ones that actually go home at night and sleep and guaranteed you are the carriers. That's it. Everybody else, you're going to be clerk start at 1 o'clock in the morning. If you're clerk at the plant, you could be working overnight. Truck drivers could be overnight. Supervisors, they're overnight. The only ones that are guaranteed to go home every single night and sleep are carriers. That's it. Unless that's it. That's it. Don't give it up, man. Don't give it up. I've seen so many people quit and come back. apply back. You guys that are watching maybe at one station or at one plant, and maybe you never see it, but in the position I'm in, I can tell by your EIN numbers if you worked for the post office before. You know, the new people that are starting right now, they're 066 and there's 065, which ended in October, and it goes backwards. So you started in what year?
Well, I was hired in 2020. My official start date was in 2020.
And you never applied before that?
I don't think so, no.
So you were 061 or 062? No?
061, yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
See? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's how the years go on. So I'll see people at 057, you know what I mean, come back when they're applying, because what I do, and people will leave, they'll get a taste of the other world, and then they'll come back. So the one thing is sometimes you need to rest from it. Don't ever give it up. If you apply, I got a girl that I was talking to a few weeks ago. She said, man, I hate this place. I hate this place. I hate this place. It's all walking routes. I said, well, apply to a place. This one and this one and this one, they're not all walking routes. This specific station is all walking routes. Apply there. You're good at walking, but you hate it. This one it's a hit or miss. Oh, when will I get my bid? Don't even talk about that yet. It's 2 years in. Just don't give it up. Don't give it up. We got to really see what's going to happen within the next couple of years with the new president coming in. But in my personal opinion, post office has been here before the country started. It really is. And I think it's going to be here long after I'm dead. So
yeah, people are getting they want more convenience. So with delivery and stuff, especially with packages, we're always going to have a job. With all these packages and stuff, we're always going to have a job. And job security too. I broke up a fight on the workroom floor earlier this year. You know, and they still have a job. So we have good job security. We got a bunch of we got good benefits here. But Jay, thank you for coming on. I appreciate you taking your time. Where can people find you? I know you got YouTube. You got any podcasts you got to plug?
I'm part of a podcast with Mailman Matt and Mailman Derek. That'll be on their channels. If you can go to their channels, you can check them out, Mailman Matt and Mailman Derek. If anybody wants to talk about carriers, them as well as yourself, you know, me, if you just punch in anything with USPS, I'll pop up somewhere. I don't plug myself because that's not my thing. I never asked for a subscriber. But you know my name. If you just see my name on the bottom, you Google it, it'll pop up.
Right. Everything USPS to JH. Thank you for coming on. What's it?
I said he said it. I didn't.
No, I'll always give you a plug, Jay. You plugged me when I had no views. I remember making videos in my truck before I took those videos down. But I would be in the cold making videos, and you would share my stuff, and I'm like, who is this guy sharing my stuff? And I was very grateful you did that and helped me.
I'm very grateful you are who you are. You are one of the pioneers of this. You say Jay, I say you as well. There were other people around when we started. Remember that.
There was
still here.
Yeah, I try to stay consistent. I'm trying to change the culture, and I'm not gonna go away because some people rely on that. Some people rely on that positive voice. If they don't hear you, me, Chooch, Derek, Russ, any of these guys, they might quit and give up. But hearing that positive voice, they stick with it.
Well, we appreciate you, brother, and I thank you for giving me my few minutes of fame.
Yeah, for sure. You're definitely welcome on anytime. I'm definitely want you on again.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. So thank you guys all for tuning in. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to link Jay's channel in the comments, and I'll see you guys soon.